guided trip.
Good, it's not good.
Yeah, but it will be.
All right.
Nice.
We are
It sounded great.
We are on here, the guided trip. Back at it with another podcast. It's been a while. It's gotten busy.
It has been busy.
Life's been busy. Work has been busy. That's good.
Yeah, that
for
is
Dane
good.
and I and you. You're working.
Hey, we're all running and gunning right now.
Guiding has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
still
gone.
high water.
I heard there was no more fish.
Yeah, they're gone. We caught them all. Yeah, I caught them all yesterday. So don't even come up here. Fishing sucks.
We did a big fish fry.
Yeah, they're delicious, dude. I can't believe I fit them all in that cooler.
Dude, it was pretty impressive. You're only like 800 fish over the limit.
Yeah, that's not a big deal, dude. Nah, no one's going to know.
One hell of a stringer.
Yeah, Gunny's fishing pretty good, I'd say. I mean, it's still running high. I haven't even checked flows. Have you?
I didn't look today, no.
No. I mean, we can check, I guess. But if I had to guess, I bet it's about 2,400. If I had to guess.
That looks about right.
But we only had one person that emailed us about the high river flow.
Really?
What the peak was going to be. Yeah. I can't remember what it is. I have to look it up.
I
didn't write any of that down. We're kind of just shooting from the hip on this podcast. We're not really into it.
Were they as incorrect as I was?
We were. All of us were very incorrect. I think, what did it peak at? Like 5,200?
Yeah, 52.
Something like that.
I swear I said something like that. I was just way off.
I think you're way off, dude.
I think
you weren't even close.
I think I said 8 grand. I think I said 8 grand.
That would have been sweet if it hit 8 grand.
That'd be
but
gnarly.
It's running 2,300 right now.
Okay.
Pretty good flow.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be running that for a fair amount of time.
It looks like it's going to hold steady for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, most sections I'd say on the Gunnison are fishing pretty well. As you get down closer to the lake, you know, I mean, that water's backing up pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty much all the way to Cooper's.
The river turns into a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yet again.
it's not sweet.
It's a shitty row out.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we got back to that. I never thought we'd see.
I never thought
that we'd get that much damn
Who do you
snow.
think you are? I am. I was on a tyrant of that last night. Who do you think you are? I am. No, I mean, the Gunny's fishing well. We've been, for the most part, we've been fishing hopper dropper, nymphing some of the deeper runs, but hopper dropper along the banks. If you can get it to the bank in that softer water, you're usually there.
Right. Yeah, that's the way to fish it.
It's not necessarily like, I wouldn't say it's a huge bug issue. You know, it's just trying to get it to that zone,
right,
and get it to where they're at. I mean,
yeah, that's
the
difficulty.
We've been throwing pretty big bugs and pretty consistent on those bugs. I mean, Pat's rubber legs, double Pat's, double pickle. You know, death from above, double pickle.
Yeah.
You know, the green drake nymph has been doing pretty good with a pheasant tail on it.
I just like saying double pickles.
Yeah, the double pickle. Dude, it's been good. I mean, and it's weird because that water's so fast. I mean, you do have to throw heavily weighted nymphs on that hopper dropper.
Exactly.
And get it down in the zone. But if you can get it along the bank, I mean, you're catching fish.
Right. Oh yeah.
Are you guys throwing your biggest hoppers right now?
I'm not, dude. I'm not throwing monsters. I'm throwing a 10, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, not huge hoppers for
I
sure.
tie mine a little bit bigger though on that number 10 hook, I guess.
I tie mine pretty wide.
Yeah.
So just enough to float those big bugs.
Yeah, I mean they're staying afloat.
I mean, they'll come up and eat it too.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a ton of action on top. I mean, we've seen some drakes last night. Dane and I floated, and we saw tons of caddis everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was hard to tease them up, man. I mean, that water's just moving.
Yeah, it's just pumping through there.
Got a few to eat the chubby though.
Yeah, got some chubby eats last night. That was sweet to see. It seems like more that they're more willing to come up later in the day.
Yeah.
And the fishing is better later in the day.
Right.
You know, if you can put on at like 11 o'clock noon sleep in, do whatever you need to do, take your time, and then put on. The fishing's been pretty good.
Right.
That's what I've been noticing at
Yeah,
least.
that's when I want to be on the river is
Oh, garage door.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck was that?
Was that thunder?
Yeah, whoa. We all just stopped. Yeah, this is garage door downstairs. Cool, guys. Way to ruin the podcast. Landlords.
I told you,
geez,
man.
what's
We
your
gotta
problem?
get a studio.
Yeah, we need some money to get a studio.
First we'll get the listeners, then
Yeah,
we'll get the money.
First we get the khakis,
Yeah.
and then we'll get the chicks, and then we'll get the studio.
and then we'll get a drift boat.
Yeah, there you go.
then we'll
Yeah,
flip it.
yeah, then
And
we'll
then
flip it. Speaking of, we won't say any names, but
Bummer.
Dane and I watched a boat flip the other day in the Whitewater Park. Luckily, we were there to help out. We were kind of scouting the first wave. It's a big wave right now. If you don't know how to hit it, then you can definitely screw up.
Yeah, and it's a little funky with that lateral, the way it pushes.
Yeah, it is. And if you hit the meat, you might be in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
But we were actually just scouting the wave, man, and walking down the left bank to see if we could take the boat chute. We're just like, screw it. Let's see if we can take it. And we were walking back. Dane was already in the boat. I was hanging out, just taking a leak on the bank there and right in public. But
Yeah, it's God's life.
literally, I look over in the wave, dude, and boat's just upside down. Clients are swimming. And luckily it was a raft,
Right.
Clients were safe. Everyone was good. Dane and I rolled out. Had throw bag ready, but didn't need it, which was good. Came up to the Big Eddy and, where you can take out there at the water park. And, he's holding the boat right there. Dane and I came over and helped flip it. And everyone was okay, which was the good part,
Right.
But it kind of brings up, some topics about high water fishing, I would think, and just high water floating in general. Dane, even on, when we're just doing private trips or just recreational floating, we're always wearing a life jacket.
Yeah.
Like it's good to have that life jacket on.
Exactly.
The way everyone used to make fun of me for years, for wearing it, and I didn't wear one for a while until Matt Miller was like, "Hey, you should put one of these on, dude. This is the best idea." If you fall in the river and hit your head, dude, I'd rather be unconscious and floating than unconscious and sinking.
Yeah, nothing more embarrassing than dying in 8 inches of water.
But always having those life jackets on. What Dane and I were talking about this boat that flipped. Again, we're not going to say any names or anything about it, but we were talking about kind of setting up for that wave. With clients in the boat. Even Dane and I are looking at the wave. Hey, how should we hit this? What's the best way to hit it? And it was running 2,800 that day, maybe.
Yeah.
It was pretty big. And nothing on that boat was necessarily strapped down all the way. He didn't lose much. He lost the net. We got it back. Right. But, his dry box came out of the boat. It wasn't latched. There was his anchor rope was everywhere. His anchor dropped.
Right.
And that's brutal. When we go into those waves, I tie my anchor up.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want it to drop. Even though I got a good anchor system, it's like, dude, I got to tie this off.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you have that anchor drop, you're screwed.
You could be proper hosed.
And that flip could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, altogether it was
pretty smooth.
Shitty that happened,
Yeah.
but
Right.
Everybody was okay. The boat was okay.
Yeah. And for all those new coming guides and any boater out there, man, rig to flip. Be ready to flip.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
Always rigged to flip.
Yeah.
Always rigged to flip.
Every time I go through those waves, the water park is basically just a set of man-made waves. There's 3 waves and then some drops at the end. But every time we go through, it's like, hey, stop the boat. Let's put everything away. Let's make sure nothing's going to fall out of this boat. Let's make sure everything's tied down. Yeah. Everything's latched. Everything's good. If phones, wallets, everything in a dry bag.
Sit your client down.
Exactly. Or prepare them before you go into it because you could tell. I don't want to dog on the dude too hard because it's not fun flipping a boat, but
and it's happened to the best of everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It happens to people. They flip boats. But be prepared for that. Set everybody up for that. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Hey, this is what we're doing. If you can stop, look at the wave, look at everything. We even stopped in, I stopped in psychedelic the day before and looked at that wave.
Yep.
Just to see how I wanted to hit it. It's like you have to be ready for that, especially with clients in the boat.
Right.
You don't
especially
want, and that's it's just thinking about it. You might be a good whitewater guide, you might be able to do it, but you still got to think about those things. Clients probably have never done this before.
Right.
You know, and all of a sudden you put them in a situation, holding the fly rod or, you know, whatever, and they have no idea what's going on. And then all of a sudden you hit a wave and they don't know what's about to happen. They could go popping out of the boat.
They get bucked.
Yeah.
Don't dump truck your clients.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, luckily everyone was okay.
Right.
But it does bring it up, you know, just be safe. I mean, the other day I got pulled into a side channel and we had a fish on. And I got pulled in the side channel. I was trying to back out, and man, come straight at this sharp rock, you know, just big rock. And I let out the F word, you know. I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna. This was yesterday, you know.
Right.
And I mean, I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit that rock. I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can and try and bounce off of it. Luckily, you know, boat was tight, bounced off the rock, full 360,
Right.
got under control, came back down, and was able to drop out of the side channel.
Yeah, and landed that 30-inch fish.
Yeah, we did land the fish, but it was a butt puckering moment. You
Yeah.
know? And I mean, shit does happen on the river, and if you keep doing it more and more and more, you know, something's going to happen.
Right.
I did not think that was possible for me to do
Right.
that, and it did. You know, it was just one of those situations I couldn't get away from it.
I mean, it's a statistics game. You know, you spend enough time on the river, you're going to run into some hairy situations that you didn't even know were there, you know?
Well, especially if you're always, you know, trying to push the envelope, maybe get somewhere that nobody else is trying to get.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And that's a big part about that float fishing, especially in high water right now, is you're trying to access areas that have the softer water that, you know, nobody's hitting, you know, getting to those areas that, you know, there's fish in there, and
Right.
you know, it's a gimme if you can get a cast in there.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, you know, you get yourself into a situation. If you can get out, great, you know, that's awesome, but just be aware, you know, what can happen. Even if I would have high-sided boat yesterday and flipped a boat, everything would have stayed in the boat. Everything was good. Clients would have fallen out, obviously, but,
Right.
you know, we might have lost rods that were in their hands, but, you know, everything else was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't panic. Clients have no idea what's going on
Right.
when that happens. You
Right.
know, I might let out an F word and they're like, I don't know what this guy's doing.
Right.
You know, we just hit a rock and I'm yelling, bump, 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 you know, oh no, oh shit, oh no, this isn't good. And, you know, able to get out, but still, you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, hey, you know, calm, like everything's going to be okay. Let's
Right.
figure out how to do this and not panic right off the bat.
Right.
But yeah, just be prepared for anything, especially in high water. I mean, it's a big water year. I think there's 6 deaths already in Colorado.
6?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
8's average. We're like at 16.
Already?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We're like double average.
I thought I read the other day. Maybe I'm off then.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, please.
I have no
anyone,
idea.
but
We'd have to
yeah,
look
I think
it up.
I think we're double average right now.
Wow.
And I think average is 8.
Yeah, let's look it up here. You someone want to do that here? But yeah, let's look that up real quick.
Well,
But
unfortunately, 2 of them were here.
Right.
On the Gunnison.
yeah, there's 2 on the Gunnison. Yeah, very unfortunate. You know, just I don't know exactly everything how it went down. You know, Dane was on the river that day,
Right.
and kind of witnessed a little bit of it. And you can talk about that if you want, Dane. I don't want to go too far into it, just because it's, you know, it's not really our
Yeah,
place. But
right.
I mean,
I definitely, you know, I keep it lighthearted on the
Yeah.
podcast. It was tragic for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely.
It was tragic to be around it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, there's just some bad decision making,
yeah,
and just everybody's got to be safe out there and think about what you're doing.
definitely. I mean, you know, it's been a slow start to the year, you know, and everyone's getting a little frantic trying to make money, and, you know, and things happen. But I'd say in the long run, just, you know, try to make sure, you know, be safe on the water,
Right.
rig to flip, you know what you're doing, know the river,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, it's 12 confirmed fatalities,
There you
and
go.
3 missing this year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good.
And missing's never a good thing.
No.
No.
And it's just a big water year, man. You just got to be careful.
Yeah, and also, you know, I know you're frothing to get out there, but also know your capability. Know what you can do. Don't just do it because you know it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And because it could be
Yeah.
fun and because you're going to get some bragging rights. Do what you're capable of. Don't push that envelope on the river.
Definitely.
We don't have gills. We can't swim underwater.
And I mean, even with life jackets, it's tough to
Yeah.
swim, you know, but it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Well, strainers don't care about life
no,
jackets.
oh no.
No, not at all.
But just, you know, just be safe out there.
Yeah.
Just get ready for the situation. I think what I'm getting at is just, you know, if you're coming into something that you're not sure of, pull over, you know, scout it first, get ready,
Right.
get your boat ready, get your clients ready. You know, if you are a client, make sure to ask questions from
Right.
your guide,
Yeah.
and ask what's going to happen today. How's it
Right.
going to go? Make sure that you're communicating with your guide. Because I'm always talking on the boat, letting people know exactly what's happening. Hey, here's what I'm doing with the boat. I'm going to pull over into this eddy. We're going to hit a bump in the back of the boat, left side. All right, here it comes, bump. All right, cool. Like getting everybody prepared for what's going to
Exactly.
happen. And that makes a better day in the long run, make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
And another thing too, for the paddleboarders out there, I know supping's fun. If you've never been on a sup, keep it on the lake.
Yeah.
No river supping.
Yeah,
We can leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
Actually, I just thought about this when we were talking about it, but just communicating. Yesterday we were fishing, and 2 clients in the boat casting. I saw a boat back behind me, ways. They weren't fishing; they were just rowing. And dude, this guy got right up behind us, didn't say a word. I was back rowing, putting my clients on fish and having a good time. We're talking, BSing, having a great time. This guy gets right on us, behind us, and my clients are casting.
Right.
And I have no idea. All of a sudden, I turn around and there's a boat behind me, and I'm like, "Dude, you gotta say something,
Like,
man.
call it out.
If we hook you,
Yeah.
dude, that's not okay.
Right.
That's not going to be good.
No,
No.
and you're gonna be bummed, and I'm gonna be bummed that we just hooked you. If you're a recreational floater or even a fisherman, and you're floating down the river, talk, be communicative.
Right.
I was floating with another fishing boat yesterday. I came around the corner and I was right on him. And I said something immediately. Hey, man, right behind you. I apologize. I didn't see you there, but let me slow down. I'll eddy out and make sure you got plenty of space,
Right.
Because I didn't want his client coming around and catching my client in the
Yeah.
head or,
No.
anywhere. Because
Right.
that's not fun.
No.
Especially on 2 different boats. That's not going to be good,
No.
And, I was a little blown away that this dude didn't say a word.
Yeah, I had something like that happen too the other day.
Same situation.
It was mostly because the dude rowing wasn't a very competent rower, and so he was just kind of flying downstream.
Just
at
couldn't
me.
control his boat.
And we weren't in a really good spot to try to dodge what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because we were on a commercial trip fishing, and so I'm trying to do my job, trying to avoid this guy, and he's sitting there drinking beer, oars out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, man, you just have some respect. We're
Yeah.
safe out there.
Yeah, exactly. Just communicate a little bit. It's not
Right.
that hard. And I think, just have a little etiquette, because I've had that before too, with even commercial rafting trips going down or whatever. And you're like, hey, you got to say something, man. Let me know.
Exactly.
Where, if you're coming behind me, if you're coming up on me fast, let me know, because then I'll get out of your way. I know
Right.
you're moving down river. I'm not worried about you blowing the fishing for me.
Right.
Yeah, no.
We're just trying to get
Right.
everybody out of the way,
Right.
so everyone's safe.
Well, because they could,
Um,
they could potentially bump you in a sketchy situation, and now you're out of control.
Oh yeah,
and
I didn't say anything to this guy,
Right.
and I should have. Hey, next time, let us know, let somebody know, because you don't want to be hooked.
right,
I'm having clients cast, and I don't know this boat's right next to me,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and they're casting. Everyone's looking at me and ducking their heads. It's like, well, say something.
Right.
Say, hey, I'm behind you. Let me pass real quick. Cool. Yeah, I'll slow down. I'll let you pass. Hey guys, quit casting. Let this boat get by.
right.
And I've done that even to I've seen new guides on the water, or rafting guides or whatever. Like, hey, next time you come by, say something.
Right.
I'll let you know where I want you to be. Hey, would you mind going around me this side?
Right.
We're fishing this right. Don't come down right where we're fishing.
Right.
Go to the other side.
Right.
Something like that. Just communicate. We're all out there trying to have a good time. And, we're not trying to be assholes about it just because we're fishing.
Yeah.
We're not better than anyone just because we're all on the river trying to
Right.
have a good time.
Yeah, we're all having a blast.
Just
on the river.
communicate,
Right.
And if I'm coming up to a recreational floater, I do the same. Hey,
Oh,
I'm coming
absolutely.
right behind you. I'll tell them what I'm doing. Hey, I'm gonna eddy out right down here. Is that okay with you?
Right.
Stay out of their way.
Yep.
And just be respectful and just have a little etiquette on the river. And
Yeah.
that's I think that's tough for a lot of new boaters or people who just aren't in the community boating all the time.
Right.
And
Yeah, they might be uncomfortable calling out commands or telling you
Yeah.
where they're at, or they just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're not trying to piss anyone off or ruin anyone's good time. But the truth is, ruining someone's good time is bumping into them or
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah,
For
or getting
sure.
hooked.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
getting hooked. Yeah, don't want to get hooked. Not by a pickle.
But I think that some people also are just maybe not comfortable enough rowing, and so they freak out. Get
Yeah.
a little scared because if you're coming up on a fishing boat, you can pretty much be sure they're going slower than you.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
exactly.
gonna go at them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to
Exactly.
miss them.
Right. No, that's definitely true.
So yeah, I mean, I just thought about that, but I'd just say, just a little bit of etiquette.
So just out of curiosity, you're floating a guy, it's a guided trip. You flip a boat.
Hey, that's the name of the podcast, man.
That was deliberate. You flip the boat. Does the client tip?
That's a good question, man. I've never been in that situation.
Right.
It depends.
Certainly
man,
wouldn't
that's
ask
tough,
for anything.
dude.
I wouldn't come hanging my
Yeah,
hand
but
out.
okay. Let's put it this way. So, I mean, you give them the lowdown before they get in the boat. Hey, there's a possibility of something bad happening, and they're already signing a waiver.
Right.
Everything's good there. I would say, I mean, you straighten them out for that to happen. I would say, I mean, yeah, you're still going to tip. I mean, the dude got you downriver. He did what he was supposed to do. He let you know what was happening,
right.
And it happened. He said, hey, this is a possibility. We could flip a boat today, and you're willingly getting into the boat knowing that with a tip in your pocket.
Right.
It might be sopping wet when he hands you a tip, but, I mean, I don't
you guys
know.
take wet money, right?
Yeah, all money's the same, dude. I'll dry it out on the dash, dude.
It'll spend.
Yeah, it'll work. Hey, sorry, this is sopping wet. I flipped my boat today. I don't know, man. That's tough. I mean, I feel like if I was in a boat with a fishing guide and he flipped his rig, I'd be bummed for the fishing guide. I'm bummed for myself, obviously.
Right.
But I'd probably still tip, hey man, you just flipped your boat, dude. That sucks.
Right.
Here's $100. Like,
That's
I'm
why,
sorry,
right.
but
that's why I always tip at the beginning of the day.
would you tip less? I mean,
I don't think that I would tip less, but I will say this: coming from somebody that knows how to row a boat, if he did something really dumb,
Right.
Put you in a bad situation.
I'd be like, dude, that's bullshit.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened.
That's negligence.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
I'm not gonna sue you
if you're high siding before your guide does,
Right.
then you're in bad shape.
You just bail.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough question, dude.
That's why I usually tip before we even get in the boat. Like, this is what we're doing.
I mean, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I've heard of people doing. I've never had that happen to me. Like,
let's
hey,
take the uncomfortable aspect
your
out
tip.
of this.
Here's your tip. This is what I expect out of the day. I've never had that happen. I'd love for that to happen.
That's kind of gangster. That's how I'd want to do it.
Yeah, that's kind of gangster, dude. That's badass.
There's more at the end if you do this right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you show them $100 in ones, and you just pluck ones out every
You're
time
like,
you do
that's
something
coming
wrong.
out of your tip. That's coming out of your tip. That's coming out of your tip.
That's what my grandpa used to do with cups of coffee
Just
with the waitress.
ripping them in half, dude. Just right when
Oh, there goes a buck.
it's like every time something screws up. That was a bad knot. Just rip $1. Sorry, man. That's coming out of your tip. So Dane and I talked about this the other day.
That's my new move.
Yeah, right. Just start tearing money in half. Man, you're a baller if you're tearing money in half.
Oh.
I'd be chasing them in the river and taping them back together.
That's why I don't.
I need that.
That's
dog.
why I don't tear them. I light them on fire.
That's why I don't tip. That's what I thought you were going to say. That's why I just don't tip.
I'm doing you a favor.
Dane and I brought this up. Oh, I brought it up to Dane the other day, but we're kind of talking clients and talking about tips and stuff like that. But I had a client that actually I had him for 2 days. The first day he wanted to do a half-day float, just kind of in the afternoon. He's like, hey, I just want to see the river, get the hang of some things. Let's go check it out. Get done with the float. We caught a fair amount of fish. Hands me $100, half-day float. He goes, all right, tomorrow you're going to get another $100. I'm like, okay, sweet. And he goes, but if we land a big fish, I'll give you another $100. If we land 2 big fish, I'll give you another $100. So potentially I could make $300 in tips on that day.
Right.
Plus what I'm making from the shop on that day. And I didn't ask him, what's a big fish to you? I wasn't like, hey, what do you consider a big fish?
Those 12-inch fish were huge.
Oh, yeah. No,
There's a million.
I mean, so like right off the bat, dude, we're walking, and it's a full day walk in, get set up, boom, like 19, 20-inch rainbow, and like, I mean, that's a good fish. That's a big fish.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, man, that's a big fish, big fish. I'm like, hell yeah, that's a big fish, dude.
Big tip, too.
Yeah, exactly. Here comes my big tip, Ended up landing 2 nice big fish, according to him. And, that was kind of, hey, this is what you're going to get if this happens. and he followed through and hands me $300 at the end of the day. And I was like, sweet,
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I mean, I wasn't like, hey, those weren't like the biggest fish here. There's big fish.
Well, don't say
river.
that.
No, I mean, I didn't tell him that.
You should have been here last year.
Yeah, exactly. Should have been here yesterday.
I mean,
man.
that's bonefish culture right there.
Yeah.
If you show me a double digit bone, that's a $200 tip.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't happen all that often.
Oh yeah,
especially.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
big bone.
Right, and that's what you guys know.
Yeah.
If you put me onto a 10-inch bone, double digit bone, you're gonna make some money today. I kind of like that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, if clients are upfront with you about it,
Right.
I've had those asshole clients too, where they're like, "Hey man, we're only here to catch big fish,
But we
And
don't know how to cast.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
Yeah.
we can't get it out of the boat, so you're gonna have to do everything for us.
Including cast.
Yeah, exactly, and tell me exactly what to do every cast.
You know what? I don't really like when people the first fish of the day, it's like, it's pretty small, maybe like 8 inches, and it's like, and they're like, that's not even a fish. It's like, dude,
A fish is a fish.
fish is a fish, and a lot of the time it's like the way you're fishing, like
Yeah,
you're lucky.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
you're-
even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
Yeah, and it's like it's the beginning, so I haven't even got to go through my whole spiel of instructions.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, dude, what did you expect? You're just gonna chuck one out there? Oh, big fish.
Oh yeah,
First
exactly.
try.
It doesn't happen that way, And
No.
even when you do hook a big fish, like a lot of these guys who are coming out on the boats with us, or even walkwaying or whatever, they don't fish all the time.
Right.
You get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I've been fishing for 40 years," and you're like, "Oh, you go every day or what?" They're like, "Well, I go on one trip once a year for the last 40 years." And you're like, "Cool, you've been fishing 40 times."
Right.
Like I've already gone 40 times this, this year or this month. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like, I've gone 40 times this month, and I mean, so you get these people who get in and they, they expect it to happen and they hook that big fish and you're like, dude, this is going to be tough now,
Right.
Especially in this big water. It's not going to be easy, man.
Right.
These big fish are here. We can do it, but it's going to be a lot of instruction.
Right.
Like sometimes they hook that big fish and dude, it just gone immediately.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, dude, it's gone. Sometimes that happens.
That's the game.
Like I've never landed a 25-inch fish. I never have.
Not on the Gunnison.
I've had clients do it.
Right.
Luck. Last year I had a 27-inch rainbow on the gunny, and I didn't land it. I mean, I lived vicariously through that guy.
Well,
I think I landed it.
That's your
but,
fish too, man.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah,
fish.
that's
But
y'all's
you know
fish.
how hard we had to work for that
Yeah.
one fish? This guy's been
Right.
fishing with me for the last
Right.
6 years.
Right.
He knows the drill. He earned it.
Right.
That's what I told him.
Yep.
I was like, dude, you put your time in. You earned that
Yeah.
fish. Don't act like you didn't earn that fish
Right.
because you
That-
did.
Exactly.
And you worked hard for that. And everyone wants to get in the boat and catch a big fish or catch 100 fish a day. And you're like, dude, it's not easy. It's not easy, man.
No.
You have to be able to follow through with everything. Once it all comes together, then you can start catching more and more fish.
Right.
Yep, that's exactly.
Well,
right.
you catch a big fish on the gunny. You're like, okay, that's the hard part. Now the real hard part begins.
Yeah, exactly.
Now let's try to land this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dane watched me last night throwing dry flies on the Taylor. He rode the Taylor for me, which was awesome. Thanks, Dane. But, I'm throwing double dry flies the whole time, just blowing it, dude. I'm putting the cast there. They're there, getting eats and just whiffing, dude. Just right out of the mouth. And I'm like, sitting there going, what the hell, man? Everyone does it.
Checking your hooks.
But it wasn't even as bad as he makes it sound. He makes it sound like he was just fucking terrible.
I bet it was awful.
It was fun to watch, I kept telling Dan, I was like, I'm sorry, Dane. I'm sorry, man. I should be hooking more fish.
I bet Dane
I'm
was
sorry.
super upset.
Oh,
Right,
dude,
right.
he was yelling at me the whole time. He was cussing at me, dude. He threw a bottle at me. Dude, he fired a bottle over my head. He's like, what's your problem, bro?
But hey, Dane, did you go get that bottle?
No, dude.
It broke. It broke in the river, dude.
I'm not gonna clean that.
That's what my kids play, man.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it happens, man. It's not easy to get in there and think it's going to happen.
Right.
Even yesterday I'm sure you experience it all the time where you get people in the boat. You're like, all right, look, we have to go through the motions. Let's get a good cast, good drift, good mend, good hook set, everything. Then all of a sudden, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours into the trip, it starts to come together.
Right.
And you're like, boom, hook a fish. And you're like, you did everything right. You did everything you need to do. It all came together. You had a good cast. You put it right where I told you to put it. Good mend, good drift, good hook set, boom, fish on. You did it. That's
Right.
it. But it might take you 2 hours to do that.
Right. No, exactly.
And-
Now you got it. That's how it feels. Now let's do this rest
You
of the
just
trip.
see a lot of people get
Yeah,
frustrated.
exactly.
Right.
Well, it is. And I mean, it's a lot, especially when you're moving downriver. It's high water. Like, we're rowing real hard, but we're still moving, you know? And
It's frantic.
It's unavoidable. You are going out. You're hauling ass downriver.
Yeah. And people, you know, they get overwhelmed quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm in their ear. I'm talking to two people.
Exactly. You're talking to the guy in the back. You're like, hey, do this. Hey, up front, you do this. You know, and sometimes you don't even go names. I just go, hey, up front, this is what I need you to do.
Right.
Up front, you're good for a cast.
Right.
You know, because you're going so quick. It's like, my brain's not computing names right now. You know, in the back, I need you to do this. In the front, I need you to do that. You know, like, you're talking a lot. And I tell people, like, man, there's a lot going on right now. I'd be like, oh, yeah, dude, it's like, guiding's easy, man. It's like riding a bike, but the bike's on fire, you're on fire, fly rods are on fire, boat's on fire, everything's on fire.
Yeah, and you're on top of a beach ball.
Yeah, exactly. You're just floating down a river, everything's on fire, man. Like, it's not easy. There's a lot going on, you know, and if you can, I think what we've been trying to talk about lately is just, again, the communication with your clients and telling them exactly what's going to happen before it happens, and tell them how it's going to happen, what I need you to do when this happens.
Right.
You know, here's what you're going to do.
Right.
Yeah. Like being prepared and having them be prepared.
Yeah.
And trying to like drive that home so that when it actually does happen for them, it's not just a disaster. And they forget everything.
Set them up to succeed.
Right.
You know, we discussed a lot yesterday, just floating and just, you know, in the car ride, just running shuttle. But it was just like, you know, if you can set them up to succeed, you're going to be in better shape. Everyone's going to have a good day. You'll have a good day. Your clients will have a good day. You're not going to be bummed on the water.
Right.
But if you're just that dude who doesn't care and doesn't try, you're going to have a bummer day.
Right.
It seems clients are going to have a bummer day.
It just seems so important for a fishing guide to slow things down for the client as much as you can.
Oh, for sure. You can't go out there expecting them to fish like your buddies that also guide.
Right.
And I love watching clients catch fish. I love when they start to figure it out and you see that light bulb come on.
You see it click and you're like, there, you got it.
It's like
I watched it and you can see their eyes light up a little bit.
Yeah. And now we're working together.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, you know, I'm working for you, you're working for me.
Yeah.
We're going to run this river.
I think if you can explain that to clients and even just people in your boat, just friends, whatever, if you're floating, like, look, this is, even when we're walk wading, even Ryan and I, you and I, you know, when we're walk wading, it's a team sport.
Right.
You know, it's not about me. It's not about me catching fish. We're a team. We need to catch fish.
Exactly.
That we need to figure it out.
Right.
And so if you can describe that to a client, and, you know, they'll ask you at times, you know, and they'll talk to you about it, but if you can tell them, look, we are a unit. It's not you up front catching more fish than anybody else.
Right.
It's not the dude in the back catching more fish than anybody else. It's we are a team.
Right.
How can we both catch fish? How can I catch fish? How can you catch fish? How can everybody work together to make it happen? And once they understand that, look, I'm here for you.
Right.
I'm here to help you and set you up to succeed.
Yeah.
If I fail, I'll tell you. Hey, I screwed up.
Yeah, I blew
failed.
that. That's my bad.
I set you up to fail on that one. I made you cast into that bush.
Yeah, that's my bad. Let's get to the next.
And they don't get it. They're like, oh, no, that was my fault. And you're like, no, you don't understand. Like, my boat was in a bad position.
Yeah.
I told you to cast. And that was a dumb move on my fault.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah, there's some holes where it's like, dude, if you don't do it just perfect, it's going to be bad for that rig.
Exactly.
And they're like all apologetic, but it's like, no, dude, I told you to do that because, you know, there's a 50-50 chance that was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And you know
what,
dude, we got a lot of river left, so don't even
I mean, when I'm floating on a boat like that, I'm going to make that gamble cast because sometimes those gambles really
I'd say
pay off.
right now with the high water, too. I mean, I tell people if you're not casting in the bushes, you're not close enough.
Yep.
You got to gamble today.
If you're losing flies in the bushes, I'm okay with that. I'll be okay. If you're losing flies on your back cast when I told you not to cast because there's a big ass tree behind you, I'm gonna be bummed.
Yeah, or if you're not picking, if you're not picking your rig up when I told you to pick your rig
If I
up.
told you to pick it up because there's a big ass log coming and you hook it on that log, I might be pretty bummed. Especially if we've been doing this for 4 hours already and all of a sudden you just forget what's happening.
Right.
I'm gonna be a little bummed.
That's one of my favorite things as a client. Like, all right, pick it up, nothing here. I'm like, you know. Yeah, there is one.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna leave this in. And you get people like that, and you're like, dude, you just lost a fly after I told you to pick it up.
But
man.
sometimes they pick up that fish.
I know, and then you're like,
and then you've trained them like,
bad.
oh, I know better.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like, great, now this dude's making obscene casts he doesn't need to be making, and he's trying to cast 60 feet across the river, and I don't want that happening because all of a sudden he caught a fish when I told him not to fish, and now he's looking at me like I'm an idiot.
Right.
You know, and it's like,
yeah, but for the rest of the day, he's trying to collect 60 feet of fly line off the boat the whole time.
Yeah. And that, you know, I had good clients yesterday, but that was my guy up front. You know, like the girlfriend was up front to start, and she was doing great. I could watch her. I could get her casting. Dude in the back, he was like, I've maybe float fished once. And he starts fishing. I'm like, dude, you've float fished more than once.
Right.
Like, don't bullshit a bullshit. You know, like, I know a float fish when I see one.
Right.
You know, you get in my boat and you start casting like that, I know you float fish.
Right.
Yeah.
He gets up front, all of a sudden he's trying to make these bomb casts. I'm like, dude, you need to pull in line.
Easy.
Yeah, fish next to the boat, dude. Fish
That's why you're here. That's why you're
Exactly.
on this boat.
Exactly. You don't need to be making those bomb casts.
I'll tell you what, dude. 100% of the time, I'm more impressed with mending than casting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I'm like, dude, you can mend that line. That's badass.
Or if they can high stick, dude. You teach them a high stick.
yeah.
You're like, hey, high stick.
That's a great move.
This is a high stick. Here's
What's
how
that?
you do it. For all you listeners out there that don't know what a high
My
stick
right
is.
shoulder is sore. From it.
Hopefully I do it a little bit of justice, but the way I teach the high stick is basically like, if we're casting into an eddy or very turbulent current where it might pull our fly line down and get us a bad drift, with a hopper dropper, even an indicator rig, even dry flies, what I want you to do, this is how I explain it. You know, let's say you guys are clients, okay? And I'm teaching you how to high stick.
I feel like a client.
Basically, I'm going to tell you to cast into that eddy, cast into that soft water, and this boat's going to be moving fast. I want you to lift that rod up off the top of the water, lift that fly line up, and just let the hopper, the indicator, the dry fly sit. And that's high sticking. So, all right, here comes a hole. We're going to cast in about 2 o'clock, and I want you to high stick. And when they get that, it is the coolest thing in the world.
Right.
And you're like, all right, here it comes. Cast in. They go to mend. You go high stick. Boom, rod comes up.
Right.
And they just let it sit, and you're like, you nailed it, dude.
Yep. That's
Fish on. And you're like,
And
dude,
they
you
also
did
realize, this day is going to be kind of easy, and we're going to catch a lot of fish.
great. Yeah, right.
really close to the boat.
Wow, this is nice.
Is this how 20-inch fish happen?
I mean, dude, it's like
I think 20-inch fish only happen when it's a 60-foot cast
Oh,
and
dude,
a
you can-
Z-mend, and like that's the only way you catch 20-inch fish.
Z-mend. I mean, you need to be doing
I'm doing
all
my wiggle
kinds of
cast, reach
shit. Wiggle cast, I'm
Mending
doing-
midair.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I
I
can't
got my
mend
wizard
midair,
stick out.
dude. Wizard stick. I mean, just communicate, dude. Especially this time of year when it's moving this quick. It's like, dude, you only have a short window to make this happen.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
And just
line management.
Yeah,
It's the most
dude.
important
Yeah.
thing on the boat.
I try and teach them to cast and then go line management. Look, if you can get good cast, all right, now let's go line management.
Right.
Get that slack in, get that line in, high stick, boom, fish, or whatever,
Right.
whatever you have to do, big mend, and
Exactly.
and show them how to do it, teach them how to do it. Well, how do you know what mend to make? I'm sure you get that question
yeah.
all the time.
Yep.
How do you know what mend to make? Read the water. Like, obviously your client doesn't know how to read the water.
Right.
And I just
You
tell
can't
them,
do, yeah.
hey, this is years of experience of reading water and making that mend. I
Right.
mean, we corrected your mend.
Yeah, I was,
You know,
I was
in
doing that big
2
mend in that
minutes.
wrong place, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's not working.
2 minutes we
Yeah.
corrected, and I go, dude, you don't need to mend that.
Yeah.
Just strip line. Just strip in a little bit.
Yeah,
Make
that
a
was-
small mend.
That was like 3 months ago.
I just learned how to mend.
I just throw streamers, man.
I just huck meat.
I just hooked me.
I just huck meat. I can't go fishing with you today because I only huck meat. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely tough this time of year, but dude, the fishing has been bananas.
Right.
That's really
I need to get on a boat with one of you guys, man.
Yeah, dude.
God, I haven't been on. I haven't floated the gunny this year. Period.
Ass, cash, or grass, dude. Nobody floats for free.
I haven't. I haven't asked.
I don't know if I want that.
Well, hey man, careful what you say. That's
I'm
false
in.
advertising.
So the other
I'm in.
day,
Looks like I'm floating.
so
with
we've
Dane.
been throwing the hopper droppers. We'll bring this back around a little bit, but throwing the hopper droppers with 2 droppers on it.
Pickles.
Either double pickle or, like I said, kind of the drake or the pheasant tail nymph. That's
Right.
been doing great. I had a first the other day. I don't think I told you.
I saw the picture.
I had it. My client doubled up
Yeah.
on a double dropper. 2 fish on 1 fish on each dropper. One was brown, one was rainbow.
Nice. I've done
And
that before.
I've hooked him. Well, way to ruin it, dude. Jesus.
I did it.
Now you
I-
make me feel like crap.
No, I did it like 30 times yesterday. It was amazing.
I've done it on a nymph rig before,
Right.
and you can't get them in. We ended up netting both of them, which was I was like, hey, put this cast right here, kind of mid river. Boom, fish on. And then I don't know if it was that nymph moving around below.
Right.
Boom, another fish on. I was like, whoa, what's going on down there? I thought another fish was coming up and attacking the other one.
Right.
All of a sudden, we got 2 fish on and we netted them both. I was blown away, man. I was like, dude, I've never seen this before.
Right.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, I've never landed it, but I've had 2 eat at the same time.
Well, I had 2 dry fly eats yesterday at the same time.
That was sick.
Yeah.
That was
I've
fun
never
to
landed
watch.
2 decent fish though. I've landed 2 small fish.
They were about, they were 12 inches,
Right.
maybe.
Right.
10 to 12 inches.
That's still
but
rad.
It was still cool.
Oh, it
That's
happened to me.
24 inches of fish in one.
It happened to me.
Exactly, dude. That's a very good way of thinking about that, Dane.
It happened to me the other day. I caught a 13-inch brown, spun all my rig around it, and I picked it up. And I thought I was fighting another fish, but he was just dangling with my whole rig.
Just wrapped up.
And I
in
couldn't
the
see
whole
my other
rig.
fly dangling. I was like, no, there's another fish on there. And I can't see it. The water's muddy. Then I realized he was just tangled up in my rig.
I just never seen it, man. Like, I've never had that happen. I've seen fish go for
Right.
double dries before.
Right.
And I've just never landed one. I was pretty stoked.
That's awesome.
It was cool for me,
That's
I
a
guess.
sweet double.
But then, me, I started thinking about it. I'm like, whoa, we got a rainbow on the top bug and a brown on the bottom bug. Maybe the
Oh,
rainbows are
Jesus.
sitting higher. Maybe the browns are sitting
Now he's
lower.
overthinking this.
Oh, dude, I start tinkering with everything. Like,
Uh,
Dane just rips me up, man. I mean, we were floating the Taylor with JJ the other day, and it started raining. And so we sat under the 5 Mile Bridge
Nice.
for like an hour,
Nice.
just hanging out. And
I hope
Jared
you guys
was,
had plenty of beer.
we did.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
That's a disaster.
There was not a lack of beer on that boat, and JJ drank most of it. But
I believe that.
Yeah.
but he's fishing, under the bridge, and we're telling him what to do. And man, I start thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I want to change that rig, Jared. I'm gonna change the rig. Brings it in. I'm like, put on new fly casket. I think I need to change it again. I think I want to change that again. And Dane looks at Jerry and he goes, see, now you did it, man. You let him sit too long. And he starts tinkering with all the shit, trying to figure out exactly what they're eating, dude. He's like, we got to get moving.
We got to
dude.
get
Like,
going.
We got to get Cameron rowing, or he's just going to be tinkering the whole freaking time while we're sitting under this bridge. And I did, man. I've changed his rig like 3 different times. But,
Cameron ends up with double lacy worms.
yeah, right.
This
will
is
work.
perfect.
Yeah, this will work. This is going to work. No, I mean, yeah, you know me. I start thinking too hard.
No,
and
dude, I mean, I love tinkering. I love changing bugs and trying to figure it out. But it's like, I watch him, dude, and he got a sparkle in his eye, and he's like, got to change it.
But what if?
oh, yeah, dude. Oh, I do it all the time. So,
It is rocket science. Let's be honest.
I mean, dude, I think too hard about it, man.
Well, it can be hard.
Yeah.
Some days it's easy.
And I just have these like feelings, man. And I'm like, dude, let's change those, bro. That's not working, man. Let's change it. Sometimes, dude, if the fishing's on and they give 10 casts, I'm like, we need to change those bugs.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
We need to
sure.
change those freaking bugs.
Right.
It's not working.
Oh, if you throw it where they should be and just crickets, I mean, it's time.
But do you ever change up when your clients are roping fish? You're like, but I just feel like big fish aren't eating this.
I've done it before, and the client gives you a look like, dude,
why?
we're catching
Right.
fish. I'm like, yeah, but we're not catching the big fish.
But you
dude.
said
Like,
you were going to give me a $100 tip every
Yeah.
bit.
yeah, exactly. We need to catch the big fish, dude. I've done it, and I've watched clients look at me. They're like, you seriously changing my bugs right now?
Right.
Dude, I'm roping them.
I'm kind of having a good time.
And you're like, yeah, but, I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
It could be better.
Yeah, we can catch more.
That's 30-12
and then when
inches,
it
but
works,
what if?
but
Oh, yeah.
But see, when it works,
Oh, you look like a genius.
yeah, exactly, dude. You feel great.
Oh, my-
know,
'cause you
feel
are a
like $1 million
genius.
bucks.
Dude, the textbook maneuver is like fishing slow. You get one, you pump, you change bugs.
Yeah.
Fishing turns lights out, and they're like, wow,
You're like,
you're a fucking
yeah,
wizard.
you are a genius. You're like, yeah, I know, dude.
That was cool.
Oh yeah.
You're so welcome.
Yesterday is tip your guide.
Tip your guy.
I had it yesterday. I mean, this dude looked back at me and he's like, dude, you really know what you're doing, don't you? I'm like, I kind of have this dialed in right now, like put it there. If you put it there and leave it, there'll be a fish. And he'd make that cast and boom, fish on. You're like,
Right.
dude, yeah, I got it, man. Like, and he just, you see the confidence in their eye. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like at first they're a little worried because they're not catching fish right off the
and
bat.
they're
but-
intimidated, man. It's an intimidating situation stepping on a boat when you've never been on a boat before, or
And
have
you
only
got-
been on a boat a few
You got some
times.
scrawny, skinny white dude yelling at you all day. And you're like, I'm not trying to be a drill sergeant, but
You
I
got
need
this-
you to do it.
Yeah, you
dude.
got this boat with 30 straps on it. You don't
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Like, there's so
Like,
much crap on this thing.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? And he's always just messing with stuff and just grabbing things.
He's
and
just sitting on
he's
his
just
oars. Why
shoving
isn't he
turkey
paddling?
basters down fish's throats, and I don't know what's happening right now. He's always just moving bugs and give me those bugs, and you got a tangle, bring it in. And
This guy's mad.
Yeah, exactly. It can be intimidating.
Can we do a half day?
Yeah, I want to change my full to a half. I don't like this anymore.
I'm scared of you.
You're really freaking me out, man.
No, I mean, like I said, just communicate with them, dude, and then they're fine. You're like, look, I'm gonna be talking to you the whole time. I'm trying not to yell at you. I get really excited though.
Oh,
you
right.
know?
I get way excited.
Oh, dude, when they make good casts.
I hear myself sometimes, and I'm just like, leave it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm like,
Fish. And you're like, well, dude, what was that?
Yeah.
What did just happen? It was just word vomit out of my
had an
mouth.
aneurysm.
I've been noticing.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been noticing I do a lot. Like when I'm just guiding friends or family or something like that. Is I always tell them when they make a good cast, I always say, get ready, get
Yeah,
ready.
exactly.
That's my new thing.
Yeah.
Like get ready.
I've been
There
doing
is
that,
a fish is
yeah.
gonna hit this.
I've been doing that a lot too. Like they make a good cast, I'm like, boom, get ready. That's
Yeah.
gonna be fishy. You know,
Right.
that's fish. Get ready, get ready.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you see them start to get
Right.
a little bit more intense, and you're like, all right, it's coming.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
fish. And you're like, see,
and
dude,
they're not gonna miss that fish because they're ready for that, or they whiff.
you made a
they're too
good
ready.
point, Dane. The other night where you're talking about it, and you said, like just stick with it.
You guys want a beer?
I'll take another.
I'm good.
Like stick with it. Even if the fishing's slow, you have to stick with it.
Oh, dude, you got to keep the
You
faith.
can't give up. Yeah, keep
Yeah,
the faith.
you
That's
have
what you
to.
said. Like you might. Who knows when you're gonna catch a fish?
Especially with hopper dropper and indicators. Like, yeah, we're not going to physically see that fish eat it a lot of the time. And, like, it's going to go under on rocks and sticks.
Yeah.
And you might snag. But it's like,
Grab me
dude,
a beer.
a lot of times,
my bagel.
Watch your. Oh, there you go.
that's going to be fish.
Yeah.
And if you're just like, you don't have any more faith and you're like, whatever, it's bottom, then, double.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
So-
you missed it. You got to keep the faith, man. Thanks you. Thank you, Ryan. No, I mean, yeah, that gets tough. When fishing gets a little bit slower, like you can see it in their eyes and they start to give up.
Yeah,
like
they-
dude, you can't give up.
They just pick up that glaze.
Yeah.
You can see that glaze.
It just folds over,
Right.
dude, and
Well,
they're just like, Psh, I'm done.
I only brought that up because I had a dude that was doing that, and we were in a hole where I know that there's fish, and I know that there's big fish, and he would his indicator would just rocket under the water, and sometimes it was a stick, and he would just he'd look at me before he even tried to get it undone, and he's like, it's bottom again, and I'm like, dude, you got to set that every time.
You gotta dunk that.
And the next one, I was like, dude, if it goes under, just do me one favor and set it. Set it like you mean it.
Yeah,
Right.
Like we're
let's
fishing.
see what happens.
And then boom, it was like, this is a big fish. I mean, not huge, but it was like a good 17-inch rainbow.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, dude, just
you got
stick with
yeah.
it.
And I tell people that too. I mean, even buddies whoever I'm fishing with, dude, set it every time. Even if you don't think it's a fish, set it every time because you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what's a fish and what isn't.
Oh yeah.
I
I have buried hooks into sticks.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like, dude,
That's the game, man. You got to set the hook, or you will
set
not
the-
land any
exactly,
fish.
dude. Fish are in the water, and
Right.
you got to set the hook on everything.
I mean, do
know?
you guys as guides? We're talking about that glazy moment where everyone's just kind of like, oh god, this is almost not fun anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they're
We're dragging
uncomfortable.
this
They're
out.
uncomfortable for you. You're uncomfortable for them. Like, are there tones that you guys try to keep that client stoked?
I keep it upbeat for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you just like, hey, here we go?
It
It's
takes-
about to light up.
Yeah.
We're
It
about to get
takes
into it.
a lot for me to get bummed. It's probably only happened a couple times.
Yeah.
And it was just because of maybe comments that they made,
Yeah.
Right.
I thought we were gonna catch more fish than this.
But as a guide, you can't
you
let
said
that get you
fishing-
down,
You
right?
said
I
fishing
mean-
was good,
Right.
and I thought we were gonna catch bigger fish than this. You get comments like that all the time.
Right.
You sure you know what you're doing?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, yeah, I do.
I promise you I do.
I do.
Because this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time doing this shit.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
A lot.
Like a criminal amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. This should not be okay. How much time I spend.
I mean,
out here.
do you
get a
get
psych ward.
do you guys ever pull sociological moves oh, that was a fish. He didn't move that indicator. Man, that was a big fish. You do that stuff. Maybe tell a little white lie to get your client stoked back up.
I don't think I do, but I get like more enthusiastic. Like if I see them, like kind of just going to sleep at the wheel, I'll be like, dude, like I need to start guiding you a little bit harder so you get into it.
Exactly. I need to change up my game a little bit.
So you just
you're not into it.
So 90% of the time, you just get more kind of hands on with
it.
it.
Like, hey, let's. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No worries. But I think people can sense that, like, if you're getting excited, then they think that your chances are going up.
Yeah,
right.
And like maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But if you're fishing hard, your chances are definitely going up.
Right.
So
yeah. I figure you always got to keep your client's stoke factor as high as you possibly can. And that must be exhausting for you guys. I mean, you go to a party, say you go to a party and don't drink a beer, you just talk to people all night. It's exhausting, like entertaining people.
Yeah, it is.
Like you're trying to stoke this client all day long on a slow day. Call it. That's
why it's taken so long for us to do a podcast. Right. We've been so tired from just entertaining people and just roping fish all day.
You guys are the entertainers.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
We are. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, I just love watching people catch fish because I like put them in the position to do so, and I love when people have a good time on the boat. I don't want to see somebody pay a bunch of money to have a shitty time.
Yeah,
all right,
because I don't want to do that.
And okay, so
that's why you bring a fifth of whiskey. Can you do that legally?
I'm gonna bring it to another podcast that we did where we talked about fishing as a guide. Like, is it morally okay for you to fish as a guide occasionally? And show somebody how to do it,
to pick that rod.
So I've definitely had where like morale in the boat is down, and they're not they're not believing in me and my skills anymore.
Right.
Like, hey, let me see that rod real quick. And you stick a fish, and you're like, dude, they're in here. Hand them the rod, and you're like, you just got to keep going, dude.
Right.
Like, they're here.
Yep.
You just keep going. I've done that move before.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it both ways? Have you seen it boost morale? Have you ever seen it drop morale?
Definitely. I've seen it drop morale.
So it's a slippery slope. It can be.
It is.
The thing you don't want to do.
But you got to do what you got to do to keep that client.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But the thing you don't want to do is, like, pull out some shit that you haven't been showing them. Like huge roll cast, massive mend, like 40 feet away from
you don't want to break them.
No.
You will break them.
You want to be like, yeah, this is how you should fish.
I like catching them right next to the boat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go
That's
make the perfect cast under a bush that's like impossible for them to make, and you rope a fish, and they're just like, okay, well, cool, I'm not going to catch anything today.
If you can do the same shit that they've been doing
That's
all day,
the trick,
right next to the boat, catch a fish, then you're like, dude, they're here. Just keep putting it in there.
I'll tell you what I have done a few times that's irritating is I'll be showing somebody what they're doing wrong and catch a fish.
I've done that too.
Oh, man, I've done that so many times.
What is that?
Be like, see how you're not getting the right mend in here and you're dragging your flies, and all of a sudden, like, just instinct kicks in, your hopper goes under, boom, fish on. You're like, great.
Right. Or you're trying
to show them how to do it better.
Right.
And I was doing it wrong, and I catch one.
Like, or you're trying to show them like how your back cast isn't working, but you're still making a great cast.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I can't even do this bad.
Yeah.
I'm so good, I can't even show you how to do it bad. That's how good I am.
Just don't do this, but that rolled out perfect. Shit.
Oh yeah. Like, God, how can I be as bad? Then you ask the client, how can I be as bad as you are at casting? Will you teach me your cast? So then I can show you what you're doing wrong.
Give me your left hand. I'll cast with your left hand holding.
How do you teach me how to make that shitty cast?
What should we just do our podcast? What not to do?
Yeah, there you go.
We should
everything
do
what not.
Yeah,
to
we
do.
should do a parody.
So I heard something kind of interesting on another podcast the other day.
What did you hear?
I'm about to tell you, dude. So there's another guide thing, but fishing a spot, like let's say you're a client and a guide shows you a spot. Are you okay to go fish that when you're not with that guide? Let's say that guide is like, hey, I'm going to take you to a spot, and you go in there and you fish it with that guide for the day. And then the next day you come back and fish it.
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. That's why I paid you $400 today.
What if that guide walks in on you and he's like, hey, bro, you're in my spot?
Like, hey, man, you showed me this spot.
How, like,
I don't know. I mean,
if it's on public, it's on public.
I know, but you know how people are like that though? Like, I was listening to the whole conversation. They go into it quite a bit about, if this is okay or not, in what situations. I know, like, some places out on the coast, even in Florida, on the flats or anywhere, people will throw down.
Oh, yeah.
And fist fight over it.
Way more competitive in those areas.
what's that dude on the Yeti 120 days or whatever? The
David Mangum?
Yeah, dude. That dude, his anchor is a skull. And he's like, you better stay the hell out of my water.
But that dude's fucking badass.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, let's say I'm badass. Yeah. I'm not as badass.
No.
I'm not as badass as him. But let's say I take a client somewhere. I'm like, hey, I'm about to take you to a really cool spot. Go fish, hammer fish. I show up the next day with new clients, and my client from the day before is in that hole. And I'm like, yo, bro,
that's a
what's
slippery
up?
slope. The courteous thing to do would be like, I better give this shit up.
You also give
As a client, or as the person fishing that hole.
You also got to give it a few days. Just because you trashed him that day, like give it a day.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying like, is that okay to do?
I think as a client, absolutely.
I think you're right.
It's tough.
But I do think like if that guy walked in on you while you're fishing
it's going to be uncomfortable.
You might be like, hey, dude, I paid you yesterday. These guys are paying you today. I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, As a client,
they should leave.
Yes.
They should leave. Dane, just the look on your face, just so serious.
Okay.
They should leave.
Right.
Like, that's what you should do. That's the courteous
That's a
thing
different question. Yes. If that happens to me, a guide shows me an awesome stretch of water, an awesome hole, I'm stroking fish, he walks in with 2 clients, I'm like, thanks, man, appreciate it. I'll bail downstream.
I think it's up to the guide as well, where like, okay, like I'm not going to take a client to my super secret spot.
And then keep taking people there.
Then keep taking people there. Even if I do take a client there, I'm like, look, you cannot come back here without me.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, is that wrong?
No, yeah, you can't do that. You can't.
Look,
like Dane said,
I don't want you coming here.
Like Dane said, if it's public,
it's public.
What can you do?
You know, but
I mean,
okay, let's say Dane, you walked in on that.
Yeah, no.
What would you do? You know, like how are you going to feel about it?
I get what you're saying. Like
I'm not advocating that this is what I'm going to do. I'm just
right. But
I'm making a conversation.
No, this is a pickle.
It's a good.
I think it's more uncomfortable for the client than anyone. He's like, hey.
Yeah. Well, the shitty part is like, what if he just fished it out and then blew your spot out for those next people?
Right.
It's like,
which is
or what
probably
if he's blowing your spot up on Instagram?
Oh, that would piss me off.
I mean,
what if he's sitting there with his buddy taking pictures and like, oh man, look at this spot, and it's in one of your spots, and you're like, dude, what the hell, dude?
Okay.
Now your spot's blown up.
Here's the point. Okay has nothing to do with it. This is a guide's life. You showed them quality water because you wanted to show them good water. You wanted them to catch fish. They found out where that water is, accessing it on foot, or you showed them on foot. And that's the game.
No, I'm just saying. I mean,
as a client, what I would do,
it's a touchy subject.
As a client, what I would do, one, I would be embarrassed as hell.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
And I would get right out of there, and I would do like an Asian bow.
Asian bow.
Yeah, dude.
So sorry.
I would tuck tail and haul ass down river. I don't know. It would be really awkward. Has that ever happened to you?
No, I don't believe so.
Right. I figure that's a pretty rare thing.
But I started thinking
to
about it,
happen.
but because I've taken trips where these guys are like, look, I come up here every year, maybe 10 times a year and fish.
Right.
I want you to show me some spots.
Right.
And you got to think in your head as a guide, okay, I can't show them everything.
No, you got to have multiple tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah.
You can't have one. You can't be a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
You're not going to be much of a guide.
You're screwed. And you got to understand. I mean, I think you got to understand that you're showing this guy spots. He just told you, hey, I'm coming back.
Right.
I'm going to be here.
Right.
I'm using you for a day.
Right. I'm here for a week.
I'm paying you for a day to show me everything you know.
Yeah. You're day one of my week here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm gonna be in your spot.
You didn't see me with my You didn't see me with my camera and my pad.
Just get in a boat.
Should probably just float, dude.
I mean, you can talk about this till the cows come home. It's like guides guiding creeks. They are going to go back there.
Oh, yeah.
You showed them awesome water, and
blindfold them, dude.
And now it's exposed. I know. You should bonk
and
them.
It's
bonk them. Knock them out. You're like, we're here. Throw them in the trunk. We're here.
That'd be my guide. Blindfold guiding.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go fish creeks, but
you have to guess. You have to guess where we are.
Do you get road sick?
If you
can't fish with me.
Here's some Dramamine.
Yeah. Well, here's some Dramamine and a blindfold. We're gonna have a good day today.
There's some snacks in the cooler. You won't be able to see them. It's a mystery.
You must eat with Doritos under the burlap sack.
I've had a dude bring a GPS though, and like start marking shit.
And I've heard of that. So on this podcast I was listening to, they were talking about that on the coast, people will do that as clients.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, bring GPS with them in their pockets and mark spots.
That's a bold maneuver.
That's yeah.
Well,
That's a bold maneuver.
it's
Especially
different
on the coast.
It's different saltwater. You can get your
okay.
boat
So
with
what's
some
different?
saltwater.
What's different about it?
Well, it's
we're
just
doing the same thing.
That's just the culture. I'm telling you, I think it's okay both ways.
I think that it's a really bold move to whip out your GPS and be like,
Well, yeah.
I'm just gonna mark this shit so that I can come back and destroy it. when
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
around. And probably, well, not probably, but maybe do a bunch of unethical shit here.
And saltwater's a different game, man. One day it was on fire, next day it's 20 miles up the coast. I know there's good stuff from different places, but I don't know.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, I mean, I will eat a banana on a boat. I don't care.
Oh, dude,
but I
you
won't
better
do it.
not.
But I won't. But I won't do it on a flats boat.
You better not even think about bringing a banana, dude.
Dude, I'm gonna wear a banana costume on your boat. Does that
I think
count?
if you start
We
getting
talked
into
about that.
like some high mountain stuff, I think the GPS gets a little bit more offensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
It's like, hey man,
I mean,
Yeah.
I had to walk a long ways to find this.
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of beef with guiding clients into high mountain stuff. That's those are kind of local tricks of the trade. That we've had to earn.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you're not going to show everybody.
right.
Yeah.
That's your trick up your sleeve.
Yeah, but you still
That's
show.
that's your ace. in
No
the
matter
hole.
who you show, you're gonna get bit.
Yeah. You will
Yeah.
time and time. You'll
Yeah.
you'll walk in there and a client will be in there.
Right, and I'm obviously not gonna. I'm not gonna mention
okay.
rivers, but people have been guiding
So
clients in the water that I love that are now toast.
yeah,
Yep.
Because
I've had it.
They've
I've had
ruined
it this way before, where I've taken a wade trip and shown somebody a spot and be like, fish that spot for the day, fish around that spot, and then floated down the next day and they're in there fishing. And I'm usually cool with that.
Right.
You're like, hey, dude, I got an advantage because I'm on a boat.
Right.
And I can, it's fine. And they're usually, they don't know. They're like, hey, man, thanks for showing us the spot. We've been crushing it.
Right.
You're like, cool, man. We'll see you later.
Right.
Good work.
And that's kind of how
But
I
it'd
see
be
it,
different
period.
if I walked in on them and they're in my hole. I'd be like,
I know.
come on, dude.
I
Like,
know.
come on, bro.
Yeah.
But you do have to have other spots.
Yeah, you can't be a one trick pony.
No.
And if you show a client an awesome hole in Neversink, and they're not there, and they're there when you show up, man, you showed them.
There's one that happened to me that grinded my gears a little bit. So there's
Let's hear it.
one particular tributary into the Blue Mesa
Okay.
that fishes pretty good at a certain time.
Let's
of
go
year.
no further.
Yep.
But it's a ways out of the way, and it's kind of like
Do you have the
hard-
GPS coordinates for it?
And
I
keep
could show
and keep going no further. Anyways,
And so it's like you get there, it's hard to audible.
Yeah.
you're
somebody's-
committed.
if some-
You're in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
I got
so
you.
I had some clients that were there, and because this is one of those where like it's not that I don't have other tricks, it's that this was insane.
This was my
Yeah.
game.
and was gonna remain insane.
Right.
There's not really a plan B here.
It's a
We're
Jeep,
here.
It's a Jeep thing. We had a-
And I was pretty bummed about that. But they were, there was enough to go around, luckily, and they I think realized that was uncool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they felt proper uncomfortable with it. And it's like, oh.
They're like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, that's why I wanted.
Right.
I mean, it
So-
was just an interesting topic. I was like, huh.
If your clients burn you, man, you showed them. If your homies burn you,
You're
that's a
better.
whole
Yeah,
nother
I've
story.
had homies burn me.
Oh, man. I know. I already,
dude, you
I can
blew
think
it.
of two places we're talking about
Oh, yeah.
specifically, and I
Like,
think
did
you might have
you-
been talking about one.
Like, you blew it, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to show you any more stuff.
And it's still kind of your fault.
Yeah, it's
Like,
my fault,
God, I
dude.
should have known better.
yeah.
Damn it.
Have a couple too many beers and tell them where to go, and you're
Yeah.
like, what did I do?
Man,
Damn it.
Loose lips sink fishing holes. Dude.
I mean, you've told me multiple spots that are secret, and
I
I
only-
can't remember.
I only
'cause
tell you when
usually
you're
drink
blacked
too
out.
much.
Yeah, but the
you only
funny-
tell me when I'm blacked
The
out.
funny thing is I write yours down when we swap
Damn it!
them. Ryan.
He's just there with a notepad. Just okay, keep going.
Ryan
keep going.
5,
All right,
Cameron
here's
0.
what you're gonna do. You're gonna drive down the road. You're gonna see this weird tree. You're gonna want to make a left at that weird tree.
You're going to want to go left,
You're
but you're going to go right
know
instead.
it's weird. You're gonna know, okay? Yeah, no, I've done that.
And then I make sure I show up there before you and your clients get there.
Oh, hey, dude. Well, I'm having a late day because I was drinking the night before, obviously.
I actually went in there at 3 a.m. I haven't left.
I set up camp.
You told me. You gave me really descriptive
directions. I'm trying to think of where I want to go here. I'm trying to like wrap everything around, but it's kind of hard. I might just jump into another subject here.
Yeah, let's just tangent. No segues.
So I was thinking about, I brought it up a little bit before the podcast, but group trips. And this is going to double up to 2 different topics, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So, okay. So let's say, you book a group trip as a client with multiple people. Let's say you have 8 people. We're doing maybe 2 to 3 a guide. You have a couple guides on that trip.
Bummer.
You go, hey, we're going to meet at the shop at 8 a.m. We're going to get you waitered up. We're going to get everything. Let's say we're walking, okay? We're going to get you waitered up. We're going to get you ready, and then we're going to go fish. So my question, and we've mentioned this, not on the podcast, but we've talked about it just a tad. At what time do you start the clock for your guide trip? Let's say it takes you 30 minutes to waiter up, get everybody fishing licensed, get everybody geared up, get everybody ready, and then driving time. At what time do you start that trip?
On a group trip?
Let's say like you don't talk to everybody in the group and they're like, hey, we're going, it's a half day, 4 hours. We're going fishing. They leave the shop and then you're behind with your clients. Do I dock them that time and go, hey, look, our other group left 20 minutes before us?
I say if you do the shit show, you got to pay shit show prices. I start charging you when you put those waiters on in the shop.
If you were that client, let's say you booked a wade trip and there's driving time. Let's say there's 30 minutes driving time. Are you going to want that taken out of your trip?
If it's a group trip and we're following the herd.
And then we'll bring it around to the group trip, I guess. Let's just say.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
No, let's say, okay, sorry, I kind of jumped into that a little too far.
I hear you.
Let's just say you're a float or a wade. Are you gonna want that time started right when you show up? Let's say we have 8 o'clock meet. Do I start? Do you want that clock started right at 8 o'clock?
Right.
And go, hey, I'm gonna go 4 hours from 8 o'clock if it's a half day.
Right. I'd say it's like if it's one of those trips, if you're gonna drive 2 hours, trip starts when you get on the river. If you're gonna drive 30 minutes, trip starts when you get in that vehicle. I think there's just kind of a careful median you got to play.
I fish for 4 hours.
I fish for 4 hours.
You pay for a half day, we're going to fish for 4 hours.
Well, I think if that's what the client understands,
let's put it in perspective this way. Let's say you Ryan, show up for a guide trip, and your guide is lollygagging. He doesn't have his rods rigged. He doesn't have anything ready to go.
Right.
His boat's not ready. You show up on time. You're there at 8 a.m.
Cameron is my guide, and that's how it always goes.
Screw you. It's not me, okay? Let's say you show up for another guide, a different guide. You can't. I'm booked for the day.
Yeah, I've never paid him anyway.
So you show up and your guide's lollygagging. Maybe takes him 30 minutes to get everything ready to rock. Do you want that clock started right when you show up at 8 a.m.?
No. As a client, my day starts when I
fishing.
When I make my first cast.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. Maybe when I walk into the river right when we park and we get out of the car, start walking to the river, I'll start counting.
Same. I would think.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
I want my half day of fishing. That's what I paid for. I want my 4 hours.
The group trip, working into the group at the timing. Let's say part of your group has fished before. They know what they're doing. They've float fished before or waded before, whatever.
Right.
They don't need a tutorial.
Right.
Okay. They're already going down river. They're already fishing.
Right.
Let's say you need to do a tutorial before you get these people on the water, set them up to succeed. Let's say you need to do all this. Your group leader or whoever's there said, hey, we need to be off by 1 o'clock.
Right.
Am I going to dock that time and be like, look, dude, I had to do a freaking tutorial before I even got these people on the water?
Right. I can give you an example of this. We showed up. I'm fishing with a guide and 2 clients that fish but not well. So the guide's like, all right, I'm going to give you guys a fishing tutorial. And I just sat on the boat and drank a beer. But that was part of the trip. I lost 45 minutes of fishing.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't pay for the trip.
Yeah.
So I had if I'm paying for the trip, I have a different idea. I mean, like, damn, I feel like I should have got to fish another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. That's it. But it's that group mentality. I think you got to pay for that group mentality.
You have to figure that out within your group, because once that guide starts giving up mental capital, he is on the clock.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's really well said.
Definitely.
I mean, when you start showing people shit, that's knowledge that they are paying for.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, if I show up with a group,
trip starts.
Yeah. You show up with a group, man, you're going to get what you pay for.
Yep.
That's the game.
So here, okay.
If you came to fish, you showed up with yourself and one guy.
I'll bring it back around to the group here in just a sec, but like, I just lost train of thought. Damn it. No.
But that's what I think. I think if you really came to fish, you bought one guide, just you and the guide, you came to fish. So let's do this. If you show up with a group of people, man, you get what you pay for.
Let me say this too.
Exactly.
So we were talking about before the podcast as well about the group trip, or just about bringing other people with you on a fishing trip. If you're a client and you want to fish hard and you really want to focus on fishing, show up alone.
Right.
Do your trip alone.
Right.
If that's your goal. If you want to fish hard, then don't come with someone else.
No.
It's not going to happen. Unless you guys fish all the time together and you guys are good out of a boat or a walkway or whatever, and you guys are okay with it. It's different when there's like a husband, wife, and he's like, hey, I'd like to get my wife on some fish. I can't teach her. You should teach her. Okay, cool. That's different. Yep. But if you show up and you start complaining about how you're not catching fish,
right,
it's because you brought another person on the boat,
right,
or on the walkway.
Well, it's funny. Whatever. It's funny when that happens. I know you see this on the boat. Like, you get a guy that knows how to fish and a guy that doesn't, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'll take the back of the boat." And he gets pissed because the guy in the front of the boat is trashing fish because you're fishing him, not the guy in the back of the boat.
Yep.
And he's like,
I know what I'm doing.
Because he thought he was going to show up and impress somebody.
And so now he's bummed.
Right.
I get it. People want to go together. You want to do all that. So coming back to that group, sometimes it can look bad on guides as a group. If you're booking, let's say, group float.
You're talking multi-boat.
Multi-boat.
Gotcha.
Like maybe 3 or 4 boats, and you have one guide who's setting everything up. Hey, we're doing this stretch. We're doing it this time. And you have a different idea of what the fisher might be.
Right.
Let's say you get some people on your boat who are good fishermen, and they've done this a number of times, and all of a sudden you have to blow through some water or whatever because you need to move fast. Because you have to keep up with the rest of the group.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you're looking bad as a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not, and I've thought about that where I'm like, man, I look terrible right now.
But I don't know. If you know what you're doing as a fisherman and you jump on a group trip like that, you got to know what you're getting into. I know, and
that's what's tough.
That's the thing. I would never do that because I like to fish.
Yeah.
I don't like to follow the herd. I hate the herd mentality. Yep. If that's what you sign up for, man, that's what you get.
I mean,
I know it might make you look bad, but I hope the fisherman knows enough to be like,
big trip coming up with like 8 boats.
Ugh.
I'm so excited.
Hear that tone.
And that's going to be tough. Yeah. We're going to have to split everybody up, and go to different areas. And I explained that. And it's like, well, we can't fish together. Do you want to fish around 7 other boats?
I don't want to fish around one person anywhere I go.
I mean, the groups are just hard, man. I mean, it can really turn different ways.
You guys just need to get good enough to where you don't have to take those trips.
True. Unfortunately, my bank account does not feel the same way.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Then I would chalk it up to a booze cruise and row a boat and have some fun. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Well, yeah, that sucks. I just wouldn't want to do that. And I know it's not your favorite thing to do. When you guys get on a boat, you guys want to fish. You want to go after
fish
it.
hard. Even with beginners, dude.
Right.
We're going to go hard.
Yeah, we're going to go hard.
We're going to go hard. Way hard.
We're going to catch fish. We're going to go hard.
Well, that's the thing,
I'm going to paddle so hard.
There's a lot of guides that do not carry that same mentality.
Oh, absolutely
and it's
not.
And that also screws with your program if you're not the TL, because it's like, dude, I'm sorry. I got to keep up.
Yeah.
Well, if you're the TL rowing his ass off, everyone's struggling to hold their own with you. But at the end of the day, you got a deadline. You got to be where you need to be at this time.
Group trips are hard.
Yeah, and you got a caravan behind you.
They're really tough.
Dude.
If you're in the lead, you're winning.
2-boat trip.
If you can get ahead of everybody, you're winning.
2-boat trip with homies, awesome. 3-boat trip with a bunch of people, that sucks. And you start adding boats, it get worse and worse and worse. I'm just not into it, personally. I would never be on that trip. You guys have to do it because, well, that's what you do.
Gotta make that money.
It's that guided trip.
It's still fun. I
Yeah.
mean, like, you're still guiding. It's still fun. It's still the best job.
Yeah.
Right.
But
that's when I drink.
it it does put a damper on it when you know that you're not, like, doing your full potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, here we go. We're going back to some other stuff, but you said it's the best job.
Yeah.
And what did I say to you yesterday? I go, fish guiding is the best job I've ever had in my life, but it is the hardest job I've ever had in my life.
Fuck yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that either. And the problem is, like, the work is never over.
Yeah.
Even when you're done fishing, you're not done working.
Right.
You have to go home, tie bugs, rig rods. You have to do lots of different things. And I'm complaining about dumb shit, but it's like, it never stops.
Well, then there's the other aspect that...
Well, it's your job. You got to complain about something. We all complain about our work.
True.
You're allowed to complain.
There's aspects that I think a lot of people maybe don't think of, but your hands look like you do construction.
Right.
Your face looks like you do construction, and your back feels like you do
Exactly.
construction.
There you go.
So
yeah,
it's like we're working.
But you don't make near as much money as working construction.
Yeah, right. And you only work for 3 months out of it.
I don't know where construction season is, but it's probably
what's
longer.
construction season, dude? I might get into that.
At least you guys at least have better knees. So
True, but it is just like, I think a lot of people don't see what happens after or before work. Like before they show up. You're like, oh, cool, this guy has the life. He's freaking taking me fishing.
I mean, this is one of the reasons we kind of started this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. It's just to, talk about this
Shed
kind of
some
stuff.
light on the realness.
Yeah, exactly. And
we're just trying to make people not die.
Dude, I told, pretty much get him down the river safely. I told Dane yesterday, I go, man, dude, I laid in bed the other day. I tied bugs, for like 3 hours, and I could barely keep my eyes open because I was so tired. I laid in bed, and I couldn't go to sleep because I was stressing out so much about fishing. I was like, man, do I have enough bugs? Do I have this? Is my cooler set up? Is my boat good? What do I need to do? And it was freaking me. It's kind of like a little panic attack. You're like, oh God, I can't go to sleep right now. There's so much to do. And I mean, are my rods ready? Is everything ready? Like, what if this? Do I need to put a new leader on tomorrow? Oh man, how long has that hopper been on there? Is it going to float tomorrow? Oh God, and you're just thinking about all this nonsense that, like I said, I'm complaining about dumb shit.
Nah.
But it's true.
Right.
I mean.
Well, dude, I got out of bed the other night and started fucking with shit in my boat at midnight. I was like, I got to move this around.
Yeah, like that's not where I want it.
That's stupid. And I'm like, gee, what am I doing? Dude?
I mean,
chill out. It's just fishing, It's like, but
no, this is your job. A lot of people take their work home with them. You guys happen to do it as
never
well.
thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Well, geez. Okay. Now
I mean,
it sounds so simple.
No, I mean, you think about it. You're like, oh God, I have a full day floating. We were talking the other day. I'm like, well, man, I got to go to work tomorrow too.
You did say that.
Is the truck gonna run?
Yeah.
Are the fish gonna survive in the truck? Is the O2 bottle set right?
True.
Is the valve gonna come up?
It is a job.
It's the job, and you are allowed to complain about it, and you're certainly allowed to lose sleep about it, because man, that's your career.
Definitely.
If you're not thinking hard about it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly right. Because it means you don't care enough.
Yeah, and you ain't gonna get rich.
No.
I mean,
it's not about the money.
Yes,
I mean, the money's good. The money's good for what it is,
Hell
for
yeah.
that short amount of time. But it's about the fishing, man. It's about teaching people how to fish.
Yeah.
And putting them on fish.
Yeah, you gotta love watching people catch fish. Which, by the way, I do not. Therefore, I am not a guide.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't do it for me.
I love it. I think it's great.
I love it.
I'm stoked on the guys that do it.
I don't know, like, it's really fun to fish from the boat, but when you get somebody else to do it, I find it to be really rewarding.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
It's like, that was badass to watch.
No, it's all worth it. it's all worth it.
Oh man, and it's so much fun to watch you guys work, get on a boat and watch you guys row hard and trash
that
fish.
We do.
And that you do. And it's fun. And there are days where I really envy your lifestyle, and then there's a lot of days where I don't.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of babysitting at times.
Yeah. It goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. It's work. Like you said, it is a job. It's work. You're going to have bad days at work. You're going to have good days at work.
You don't get along with everybody.
No.
That's just
and you
fact
won't.
of life.
Some days you just don't mesh with everybody. You're in the service industry.
Right. See, that's my job. Fish do not complain.
No. The fish are my colleagues,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the way I think about it. Like, these fish are my colleagues, you know? Like, I'm good to them. Hopefully they're good to me.
Right.
I'm dealing with another aspect here, an outside source that I got to get to catch to get my colleagues to play, and to work hard.
Yeah, get this third party in on the action.
Exactly. Get a third party to get my colleagues to actually work.
Yeah. Yeah, I just raise them, and they do not complain when I don't do a good job.
Yeah, thank you for that, too. I mean, you're bringing great colleagues into the valley.
It's fantastic.
Well, hey, it's the least I can do. Literally, it's the least I can do.
So
and I will do no more.
I want to touch on a couple. I always do the least I can do.
Just enough to not get fired.
Yes.
Hey, that is work.
Just enough to not get fired. I want to touch on a couple of just a little bit more lighthearted things.
But, because this has been heavy.
It has been a little heavy.
Yeah, lighten it up, dude. This is
ridiculous. I'm stressing out. Now I'm not going to sleep.
Dane actually has some funny things to talk about. I'm not sure what you want to touch on. I can mention if you want to touch on them or not. You can. But
we're going to get zany.
Yeah, we're getting zany with Daney.
Can we just start
the zany Dane
sub-segment?
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's time to get zany with Daney. Here he comes. He's throwing bangers today. What's happening? No, you mentioned one the other day about your client doing something with flies. I don't know if you remember what was.
What did he do?
Do you remember?
I can't remember that. I had a couple things that I wanted to remember when they happened, and I should have wrote them down.
I can slightly jog your memory.
And here you go, kids. Don't do alcohol.
Yeah. I can jog your memory a little bit, but basically your client had taken a bug and done something with it.
Did he
not ringing any bells yet?
Did he touch that bug?
So you showed him a bug and you handed him a live fly.
Oh, yes.
So
where did he touch that bug?
Start from the beginning with this, okay? Since I slowly brought you into it.
Yeah.
Now you remember?
I remember.
Okay.
I remember. So we're floating and it's full day. We're eating lunch and fishing's okay, but I start flipping stuff over and looking under rocks and finding bugs. And they wanted to know why we were throwing what we're throwing,
which is a lot of people ask that.
Yeah,
very logical.
A fair question. And so I find one
because I said that's why we're
I said
throwing
flip over rocks. Don't eat your sandwich.
Yeah, don't just eat. Lunch.
Put your sandwich down and flip over rocks.
So I find the bug. It is a drake nymph, and I pick it up and I'm like, see, this how close this is, and he's like, oh yeah. He's like, let me see that. And so I start talking to the other guy, and he takes this drake nymph from me, and he starts fishing, and he's like, I don't know, I'm not getting anything right here, and I'm like, yeah, we're just headed out eating lunch, and he pulls up his rig, and I'm like, oh, you got something on there? Yeah, it's a fucking real drake nymph that he's hooked on the fake drake nymph, dude.
He's trying.
He was bait fish.
He was trying to bait fish.
Did you call Gallowich? Did you
call the authorities on him?
Did you call Chris?
This guy's bait fishing. Get him out of here.
Did your client call the authorities on your client?
Dude, that is
yeah, I got
so
this guy on my boat
gangster.
that's bait fishing right now.
Dude, I'm glad that
I
you
think it's
remembered
artificial.
that.
Yeah,
that's good
I wrote that
stuff.
down right when you told me because
Good
I thought it was
stuff.
entertaining. He's
Oh
like,
my God.
I just remember you telling me, you're like, I turned around and I was like, where'd you put that bug? And the dude lifts up his rig and he had attached it to his fake drake nymph.
And
that
I'm
he's fishing
assuming no guilt whatsoever.
Oh no,
just
dude,
surprised as to why it didn't work.
He's like, what the hell? I was like, You're insane.
Dude, that's not what we're. That's not the point.
Also, that's
here.
I think that's illegal. It's not a worm, but
that's live bait.
Yeah,
that's live bait.
It's a live bait.
I don't know if you guys know, but that's how I've been fishing for years.
Yeah, that's actually just what I do.
Cameron's like, "What are you throwing?" Just hooks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hook some bait first, and then I'm gonna start fly fishing.
I never release a fouled hooked fish.
First, I'm trying to get me some bait. When we were down, I floated.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good. I got another one I'm bringing up here in a minute.
Oh, dude, I got one more.
Okay. Can you hold it for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
Hold it.
I won't forget this one.
Talking about the bugs, I floated the Gunny Gorge with Kurt recently. And, salmon flies were coming off, and it was a good time, fishing some salmon flies. And I never really witnessed it. When we were talking to Kevin Alexander, I told him I'd never witnessed a salmon fly hatch, and what happens. So we're down in the gorge, and I'm taking all these pictures of salmon flies and videos of salmon flies, and Kurt was, hey, you should eat one, and I go, I heard a funny quote, I was like, I see more fishermen eating these bugs than fish actually do, and that it's true. Right. You see more people eating those bugs than the fish do, but I was like, have you ever eaten any? And he goes, oh yeah, and he goes, they taste like fish. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, a lot of people don't know this, but bugs taste like fish, and fish actually tastes like bugs. I was like, dude, I have never thought about it that way. He goes, yeah, bugs taste like fish, and fish tastes like bugs. Fish don't taste like fish. They taste like bugs.
Deep thinking by Kurt Herbst.
Yeah, dude.
Can we get him on?
He's going to come on, but I thought, I sat there, and, dude, he blew my mind with that.
But do you know
what? Like, what?
You know what fish don't do? They don't reflex bleed.
I don't know what that means.
So if you agitate a salmon fly, a Pteronarcis, they reflex bleed through their joints, and it makes them not taste that great.
So you don't want to do that.
So bugs taste like nasty bugs, and fish taste like kind of gross fish.
Fish tastes like bugs.
Everything just tastes like bugs.
Yeah, it blew. He's like, yeah, they taste like fish, and I just kind of looked at him. He's like, a lot of people don't know this, but fish actually taste like bugs. It's like, interesting, Kurt. That's a weird way of thinking about it, but I'm into it.
I never thought about it till
just
I
talking
ate
about the bugs, but. As we're talking about putting bugs on hooks.
So, yeah, everyone out there in listener land, we just ate a bunch of LSD, and this is the trip we're going on. So we're going to do a 6-hour podcast.
So what's your – you said you're not going to forget this next story.
Oh, dude, this is just like something else that happened this year that kind of blew me away. Not really, but – so there's like a rod rack on my boat. And
oh, yeah.
And I tell people every day, please don't step on the rod rack because there's rods in it and it's not to be stepped on. So this dude goes ahead.
So what happened?
This dude goes ahead and pretty much immediately.
I don't see where the story's going.
Steps right on it. Doesn't break a rod miraculously. But he breaks the rod rack, which it was screwed into like the poly deck. And I mean, that it's been that way forever.
Right.
Forever. And dude, the screw pops out.
Now it's not.
We float all day. It's fine. But I'm driving and I pull up to my house and I go to take the trailer off. And while I was pulling in, the rod rack had swung with the screw and just punctured the boat. Just
oh yeah,
really?
Yeah. Hole in the boat.
Just straight hole in the boat. Right when so I'm like telling my girlfriend, I'm like, put your finger on the hole. Like, I'm gonna get the patch kit.
All hands on deck. Put your finger there.
This is an emergency. This is not a drill.
This is not a drill.
This is my house.
It took you 2 goes to patch it, right? Didn't it?
Yeah, dude. The first one.
I'm assuming you didn't use Terraid.
Dude, I used the downriver like the real sauce.
You did the glue, the whole.
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
You went all in.
So the first one, it wasn't like a terrible patch. It just ended up leaking a little bit, but like you could still.
So a terrible patch.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Okay, it was a really bad patch.
It was bad.
It didn't totally blow out, but it just was a slow leak.
Bummer.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
So I took it to the next level, and I took the valve off the boat, and deflated it and like folded the boat all crazy and patched it from the inside.
You got to get it flat, man. Like you can't patch it with air in it. Not really.
I mean, that's good you got it done, but I mean, clients do the darndest things.
I was like, dude, that's a whole lot of pain.
Wait, why do you have a fly rod rack if they can't step on it anyways?
Yeah, Jesus, why would you even have that, dude? Everything on a boat can be stepped on. Everybody knows that. Step on everything.
Have you never seen me drunk on a boat?
Okay. Here we go. We're going to bring this full circle again.
Yeah.
But I'm going to come back around to some again.
Oh, my God.
I know I'm going crazy. So I kind of have a funny story about I was floating a group. It was a group float, but I was floating a husband and wife down. And the wife was pretty, a little bit concerned to float the river. She's moving fast, and she was concerned. But talked her into it. Everything was all good. She had a great time. But the whole day she's telling me, she's like, man, I can't believe you're rowing this whole thing. You're rowing it the whole time. You're going to row us all the way. I was like, yeah, I'm rowing you all the way.
That's what these sticks are for.
I'm rowing you all the way. And she keeps saying that all day, like, I can't believe you're going to row us all the way. Like, what do you mean?
She think you guys are going to California?
I'm rowing you all the way. And she goes, so I'm like, all right, we're about done with our trip. We're getting towards the end. And I can see this kind of blank look in her eyes. She goes, all right, here we go. You're rowing us. And I looked at her. I'm sorry, you've been saying that all day, but I'm a little confused as to what you mean. She goes, I can't believe you're going to row us all the way back up this river. I was like, excuse me?
Whoa, dude.
And I go, no, my truck's parked at the bottom. And she goes, well, how'd you do that? It's like we run a shuttle. She goes, this whole day you're just making me think you're so strong and you're gonna row us all the way back up this river to where we met you. I'm like, no, ma'am. There's a shuttle process. So now you have to go through the shuttle process. Can you see where I'm going with this? Can you see where I'm about to head with this?
Yeah.
So the shuttle process.
I see where this is going.
Just wait.
Oh my God.
So the shuttle process. Do you know where I'm going, Dane?
I know exactly.
So the shuttle process.
So
sometimes we run our own shuttle, but basically the shuttle process, people don't know because a lot of people don't know. And
shuttle is confusing.
Sometimes it confuses a lot of people.
It confuses the shit out of people.
Yeah. So basically, what we do in the morning, this is the whole work we do in the morning before you get there. We go drop our boat and where we're putting in. And we take our trucks down to the bottom where we're taking out.
Wait.
With our trailers.
Start
okay?
over.
So, boat's at the top. We just dropped it. We're driving down to the bottom. We actually have somebody, our shuttle driver, who picks us up and brings us back up to our boats. We pay our shuttle driver, to do that and bring us back up.
There is a monetary exchange.
Don't
forget that.
Yeah, exactly. There is an exchange.
Shit ain't free.
Our shuttle driver most of the time is a little bit of a character. There's one in town for the most part. And he is a character, we'll put it that way. But basically our shuttle driver brings us back up to the boat. So now Dane has a story about our shuttle driver. We don't need to talk about the names, but our shuttle driver is pretty entertaining, okay?
He's good stuff.
He should focus on the road a little bit more when he's driving. We'll put it that way.
See, I thought the story was going to go back to so we take out where we put in.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of that too.
River's a circle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just one big river. Fishy, lazy river.
It's a big lazy river. I get a lot of that. But I wanted to explain the shuttle process and bring up the shuttle because our shuttle driver was doing something he probably shouldn't have been doing the other day. And I have to bring it up, dude, because it's too funny. I have it written down. It's too good, dude. Just tell what happened.
Dude,
please, dear God.
So I'm sitting there, waiting for him to show up.
Waiting for the shuttle driver.
Yeah, the shuttle driver, not the boat, not my car. I'm waiting for the shuttle driver. And he rolls down his window and he's like, sorry, boys, your chauffeur was getting high.
He's just hanging out, getting high, dude. Oh man, it's a trip, dude. You get in that shuttle, you never know what's gonna happen in that shuttle car. Sometimes you get in there and it's like they roll down the windows and it just bellows smoke out, and you're like, "What are you guys doing? We're getting high."
I feel like the shuttle is where you grow to hate your fellow guide.
Sometimes you do. You get a little too close and personal with all the other guides, but I thought that was entertaining.
That's a good one.
Your chauffeur is getting high.
See, if I was a guide, I'd have my own personal shuttle driver. You once
I
did.
wish we could. Yeah, I once did. That's called a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And usually when you lose your girlfriend, you lose your shuttle.
Yeah.
Usually.
Usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might help you out here and there just because they feel sorry for
Rest in peace, shuttle driver.
There's been some good shuttle drivers in the day. But
I had
again,
this one shuttle driver one time.
God, she was a
Freak.
Now we have the shuttle driver we have now that gets high.
Well, God bless him.
Before he drives you to your boat.
I say God bless him.
He should. He
God
should be
bless him
getting
all the
high.
way.
I thought that was pretty entertaining.
That's brilliant.
I don't know if I really have much more to really
Oh,
go
no.
over. Okay, you got stuff?
This is one I think Dane came up with.
Oh, I do have one. Go ahead.
No,
you
it's probably the same thing.
What?
If you have...
Oh, the fishing superpower?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ask Dane almost every day, I feel like, what would your fishing superpower be?
Does your change?
So I asked you today because I wanted you to think about if you could have. So here's the question, and you guys are anyone's free to message us whatever your fishing superpower.
Please send us.
We will share the fishing superpowers.
Absolutely.
But the question is, if you could have one fishing superpower, what would it be?
Right. Well, mine is true.
Well, that's not.
I am a superhero.
Yeah. Turns out I am the best.
No, I went to the crossroads. I met up with Satan. Have you guys never fished with me? The fish eat the end of my line, man.
That's not a superpower.
No.
It's just a statement.
I think my superpower would be the same for everything. I just want to teleport, man.
I've heard that one.
I just want to go to every fishing hole.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
But because that one's cliche.
You have two? You came with backups.
Well, I mean, I already have the fish eating the end of my line. That's true.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go to hell, guys. I'm going to hell for this. You've never fished with me. I sold
my soul for that.
And he kind of cheated me.
So do you have another?
No, they literally just ate my indicator. He fucking tricked me, man. They eat my line, but not my flies. It sucks. No, it'd probably be my superpower would be I could see every big fish in any stretch of river.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
If you're just targeting big fish, I guess that's what you're about.
Yeah.
We know you now. All you want to do is catch a big fish. All right. Fine.
No, I just want him to stop eating my line.
Keep it away from that.
If I could have a superpower, I'd be like, quit catching so many fish. I catch way too many, and it wears my arm out.
Dude, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I wish they would stop.
But
please stop.
But the joke's on me, guys. I'm going to hell.
Dane, I ask you all the time.
Dude, I mean, there's a lot that have been taken, so I don't want to,
There's a lot of them. Don't take mine.
I'm not going to take yours or Matt's.
Okay. We'll bring up Matt's.
I wish that I could just untangle rigs immediately.
That's a really good one.
You
get it tangled, just whoop, done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Even midair, I see it. It's like,
how about just not tangling at all?
Yeah, that's a good one. But I want to use my superpower on clients.
I got you.
I don't want them to
You'd
have
be
it. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I don't want them to have. I want to use my superpower.
My superpower is that my guides or my clients can get out their own Wendy's.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I wish my clients could get their own nuts out. That's just actually just a grace of God. That's not a superpower. They just need to work hard. If you let them sit there long enough, they will get it out.
Yeah. Or they'll start to get fly line involved.
You're like, this is a shit show.
Yeah, and your straps come part of it.
The whole boat's involved, and all of a sudden there's flies on your... You're like, I don't know how I did this, but I have a hook in my hand, and there's one in your shoulder.
Excuse me, Mr. Guide, can we just cut this?
That's usually what I do. Don't even bother messing with your rig. No. I'm just going to cut it.
I had a guy rip the coating off of a fly line because he wouldn't show me that he was tangled.
Oh my god!
And it was like a 6-inch section of the coating of the front of the fly line just gone. I was like, bro, come on.
We could edit out, man. We could do. There's many ways.
I'll talk about that here in a minute.
All right. But so Cam,
my fishing superpower is pretty selfish. It's pretty selfish. Not gonna lie.
To make more money.
Yeah. I just want to be a millionaire. No. My fishing superpower. Well, should we bring up Matt's or should we let him bring it up when he needs to be on the podcast? I think he's going to be in town here soon. Well, we can try and get him on the podcast.
I think we should make it a thing. Any guest we get on, they have to do their
fishing superpower. Yeah. Okay, that's our thing now.
Yeah.
We made a thing.
Just leave it alone.
We got a thing.
Okay, so we'll leave Matt's alone.
Yeah.
My fishing superpower. I've talked about this a lot. But again, it's very selfish.
Just tell us.
I'm going to keep dragging out how selfish it is. My power would be I could float me down the river where I am rowing for me fishing. That's the most
arrogant thing I've ever heard in my life.
Hear me out. Because then I would know what's going in my head and I would know where I want to row and then I would know where I want to fish. So I don't even have to communicate with the guy rowing. It's me.
But who would you complain to when you fucked it all up?
I wouldn't fuck it up because it's me. I'd just be like, we fucked up, bro. We fucked up.
Hey, Cam, we screwed this one up again.
Think about how much tinkering would go on if I was rowing myself down the river. There'd be a lot of tinkering.
Yeah,
I'd be
fucked up. You'd fish like 2
I
hours
don't want to be
a day.
in my own head, actually. I kind of want to change my superpower.
You need to change your superpower.
But just hear me out.
No, I get it. Your superpower is to lose your marbles. I got it. That's cool. That's great.
No, I know what's going on in my head when I'm rowing a boat, and if I could have the person in the front of my boat know what's going on in my head, meaning me.
Yeah, I'm glad you know what's going on in your head, 'cause God knows I don't.
I'd yell at me if I blew it, I'd be like, you blew it, dude. I knew you were going to do that because I saw it coming. We both saw you blow it, and we both knew you were going to do that because you do that every time.
And row on.
Yeah, exactly. And then you keep rowing, be like, hey, I'm going to move us over to the right side. Yeah, I know. I'm in your head. I know what you're doing.
You're going to argue with yourself.
God damn it. I don't know if I like my superpower anymore. I thought it was really cool at first. Now that I'm hearing it out loud on a podcast, I feel pretty dumb.
I like the abstractness of it. It's very abstract.
I think it'd be pretty cool,
but
dude.
There's some pretty awesome superpowers out there, and you chose to just row yourself down a river.
Yeah, because then I catch all the fish that I know about.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, that's a good one, man. You should.
Like I said, I didn't say it was right. I didn't say I'm right. I said what it is. This is what I want it to be right now. If I come up with a new one, I'll let you know.
Well, I'm probably going to come up with a new one
Like
tomorrow.
I said, it's pretty selfish and arrogant.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. But it's really good.
I mean, that'd be pretty sweet.
It would be sick.
Yeah.
It would be sick.
It would be pretty sick.
It would be fucking shitty to be on the back of your boat if that was happening.
Like, God damn it. Cameron's rowing Cameron again.
God, I'm with Cameron and Cameron on the back of the boat.
This is going to be fucked. He's never going to he's never going to set me up for a fish.
Cam C squared is rowing and fishing. I'm going to throw streamers.
It'd be pretty messed up to be on the
I'm throwing meat in the back of the boat.
Fuck it.
I'm not going to get
And then both of us are just yelling at you the whole time. Why are you throwing meat, bro? Fish is so good.
That's because you're making me cast 60 feet.
You angled the back of the boat away from the bank, you dick. Yeah, because I don't want you catching anything, because I want to catch them.
So
I told you it was pretty messed up. I didn't say it was right. I didn't say this was the right thing to do, but that's what I'd want to do. Just at least try it for a day.
So, yeah, like I said to listeners out there, yeah, we did eat a bunch of LSD.
No, we did not.
No, we did not. I'm kidding.
But if you have a fishing superpower that you think is cool, send it in.
Oh, so my fiance had a funny one.
Oh, yeah. You brought that up earlier.
I asked her, you had texted me, you're like, oh, if you had a, because, you just
think about your fishing superpower.
And I was like, Paige, what would yours be? She's like, well, can stopping the wind be one?
Oh, that's a good one, dude. That's a good one, dude. Yeah. Damn.
She's Storm, dude. She wants to be Storm from the X-Men.
Yeah. Shout
That's
out
good.
to Paige.
Yeah, shout out. That's good, dude. Damn. Can I have that one? Can I have that?
Can I have it?
Yeah, can I have that?
Paige, you can trade.
Your
I'm sure she'll trade with you.
Getting half. Will she trade with me? I'd like to see Paige row Paige down the river, though. That would be a nightmare.
Well, Paige is a boat flipper, so you gotta. I don't think Paige wants to float Paige down the river.
Look, we're gonna flip. I know. I'm rowing.
Here we go.
Dude, you know how much better of a boater I am.
I had something else to bring up
that girl
after
is
the fishing superpower.
Reckless, but she can float. She's fearless.
Oh, yeah.
God
she
bless
floats
Paige.
all the time.
She's a champion.
I had something else after the fishing superpower, but there's a lot of them out there. I know there's cooler ones.
I know. And that's why I want the listeners out there, please give us some.
I mean, there's not many listeners, so. I don't know how many we're gonna get.
At least.
I think it's a pretty cool
4.
topic. This is gonna be our new thing. Whenever we have a guest,
Oh, yeah.
fishing superpower.
What's your on the spot?
Yeah,
for some
just
people?
like
What
if
is
you
it?
could have? Yeah, tell us now.
Motherfucker.
If
If
you don't tell
anybody
us,
steals mine though, I'm gonna call him out if they steal.
I
mine.
promise nobody. Maybe Matt Miller might.
No, his is actually pretty good.
Really?
Too.
I want to hear his.
I think he's coming. He's coming in town next week, and we'll try and get him on the podcast.
Gotta get him on. Gotta get Matt Miller on.
Yeah,
The man,
he's
the
been
myth,
wanting
the
to do
legend.
it.
That would be awesome.
And he's got a pretty good superpower. He's got a couple. What was his other one that he was telling at lunch? I was eating lunch with him the other day, and he was telling me another superpower that was pretty good.
I don't know that one.
You know the one I'm thinking of,
Oh,
though,
yeah, I know the one.
I won't say it. We'll let Matt say
Yeah, I
it.
gotta let Matt.
We can
give it
end
a-
there, I guess. I mean, we're an hour and 43 in. So.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Dang.
That's why I'm drunk.
Dang.
Dang.
Dang. Well, email us, message us, guidedtrip@gmail.com. It's been fun hanging out. Sorry we suck at doing podcasts and don't do them all the time.
We kill it. I don't know.
We have a good time. We're just busy,
kill
man.
it.
Life happens, dude. This isn't my job to do podcasts. All right, I got another fishing superpower. No, I don't like that one. Never mind.
Dang it.
Yeah, I'll think of another one sooner.
Yeah.
or
Top
later.
Cameron, please. Someone send us something good.
Please send us some fishing superpowers. Please listen.
Please listen.
Now we're just getting sad.
Yeah, we're like, dang, we're pretty sad now.
Let's get drunk and smoke a cigarette.
That sounds pretty sweet. Thanks, guys. This is Guided Trip, Fly Fishing Podcast. Have a good time. We're having a good time.
Thanks, guys.
Drink some beers for us.